And we're live! Welcome everyone to the Live Reality Game Shows podcast. Today we are recapping the final 5 and final 4 episode of Australian Survivor Brawn vs. Brawn. I'm your host Lee. Joining me as usual is Jessica. Wave hi to the camera.
Hello.
Hello. So, quick thoughts over these only 2 episodes this time. Usually we recap 3.
Mm-hmm.
Quick thoughts on these 2 episodes?
I'm just glad there's only 2 because 3 is a lot to remember.
Yeah.
But these 2 episodes were really good, so I'm excited to talk about them. They're really good episodes.
Very good. Very I don't want to say unexpected, but very surprising.
Yeah.
With these votes, quick mention of the votes. Hold on. Oh, the second we go live, I actually forget everything I was about to say. Here we go. Speaking of the votes, almost every single vote, 3 people got a vote, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tribals where it was only between 2 people. So as somebody who loves penultimate split votes, so I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it was very interesting, and I like especially the first episode in particular. The first episode gets me more fired up than the second episode, not only because of the way it's voted, but like when the vote went down. But
we still miss Phil.
Excited.
So we start off this episode with Haley explaining why she's such a liar in this game. Just having to lie herself to Danny because Danny has friends on the jury. Kind of 2 people, but
yeah.
And it's a common theme with this final fight. They believe like, oh, you're friends, that means you're automatically going to vote for them, which is a right way of thinking. Sometimes jury do vote for their friends. I think we have a lot of examples that we could list of where the right person doesn't win, or maybe some people that you're surprised got a vote to win. I know I somehow think back to a horrible season, Worlds Apart, and think, oh yeah, Will got a vote to win.
Yeah. And it's hard for us to see too, because as much as they show, we don't see everything. And so it's hard to see, to think about some of the stuff that maybe isn't on camera, because they only have X amount of minutes to show a day worth of footage. And so sometimes we don't see everything that they're seeing. So
yeah. It's like what we saw of Danny is she had like heavy case of big movitis, and it's like, of course she wasn't going to win, but for all we know, she could have been everybody's right hand woman.
Right. Exactly.
She was certainly Simon's.
Exactly.
But look what that happened to him. If he stayed in the game and still had his double idols, would Danny have made it further? She could have been saved. One of those idols could be used to save her.
I want to say Simon would have kept both of them for himself, but I don't know if he would have used them or not on her. So
it's one of those hindsight 2020 moves. Haley playing chess, playing info. Oh, she goes on again about how she's in the middle and getting all the information, and information is power. Pretty much something George said at the beginning of the merge, only we're hearing it from Haley at the end of the merge.
Right.
And is that true? Is playing the middle the best way to win?
I think it depends on who you are and your gameplay, I guess. But she's doing it in a way where if she was somebody else, she would like get voted out for playing the middle, or people say, well, people who are in the middle don't deserve to win. But she's doing a good job. But she's not necessarily. She is playing the middle, but she's only voting with the one side, and I don't know how people haven't caught on to that. Like she's never voted with the opposite person. Like she's just getting information from them, and I don't know why people keep giving her more information when clearly she's not even voting with them. She just keeps voting with the Brains tribe. So yes, she's in the middle, but she's not like a flipper, I guess. So
yeah, she's like a pretend flipper where she's saying she's flipping, but really she's not. Like I said, something George did, but he actually flips.
Right.
But maybe that's a strategy to piss off less people.
Yeah.
Or does it piss off more?
Yeah. Depends on who you are, I guess.
And with the tight 4 brains, there's only one Brawn left, Miss Felicity Von Flick. Every brain is convinced she's an automatic win because if she gets to the end, she has automatic votes going towards her.
Mm-hmm.
Does Flick have those automatic votes from like Danny, Gerald, and the Brawn people, basically?
Oh, most definitely. If I think anyway, just based on her interaction when they come into tribal, if Flick is at the end, she has at least Danny's vote because she can't stop looking at Danny and Danny can't stop looking at her. And I'm pretty sure she would have Gerald's vote. Emmett, I don't know, but she would have at least a couple votes.
Okay, she has two minimum, and even that it's scary saying like, oh, this person has a minimum of 2 votes. It's still 2 votes.
Exactly, and it's So
you rather go against somebody that has like maybe no votes going towards them potentially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So while Flick is the lone Brawn, she has a secret weapon in a hidden immunity idol, which is very rare to see this season. I mean, I don't know how she was able to find one since we barely see them.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows that she's not going home.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But she wants to get out, obviously, George, because who else would she target? Haley?
Yeah, right. The obvious vote in Haley.
Yeah, like she's still trying to flip Haley.
Yeah.
What is this? Attempt number 4?
Yeah, it's
5?
She's trying. A for effort.
Yeah. But
A for effort.
Yeah. But even though she knows she's getting to 4, she still needs to get past 4. So she's definitely doing work to prepare herself for Final 4 because she doesn't want to rely on an immunity challenge because who knows if that's going to work out for her. Turns out it does. We'll get to it. And we hear more of Wayside, which we've been getting these past, since last week. Wei has learned to grow over time because, like she said, she was pretty much going to be the first one gone until the friendship bracelet twist came into play. I'm still calling it that. I refuse to call it whatever it actually is. Same with the urns. I'm still calling that return ticket twist. And she mentions that George is the reason she's still in the game, but she knows that George is blind to his flaws. He's not as heroic as he likes to think. And she straight up tells him, like, you have been mean this season.
That was great. That was good.
Yeah, we get countless moments of people just, like, telling George, like, oh, this is dramatic, like, you are a horrible person. And he's just, like, living his own words. Like, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm a delight.
I love it.
I still remember in episode 2 where, like, after the whole friendship bracelet thing happened, Baden was just like, no, you're shit.
Yeah.
And then they end up working
I don't
together.
understand the editors because, like, they've edited in a way where it's like at the beginning she's like, oh, I don't owe George, I owe George, and then like 3 episodes later, I don't owe George anything, and now it's I all of a sudden owe George again. It's like, pick one. Like, does she owe him or does she
pick a storyline?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, they keep going back to.
They voted together once, and then I think Wei was like, I voted with him once. I guess that's debt.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, I owe George again. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's like that thing with Andrews, like a deep down thing where it's like, you know, when she was like, oh, I feel protective of Andrew, she still feels like she owes George because she says, I don't remember if it was this episode or one of the last ones, like, she always felt like she didn't deserve to be there. I think it was last episode before when she won her immunity. She always felt like, oh, she wasn't deserving to be there because she was meant to be the first one gone. And then winning the immunity, she was like, okay, I deserve to be here. So, yay, Wei. Too bad you go home this episode. George is confident in himself. No surprise there.
Yep,
highly confident. He's made more moves than two-time players.
I love it.
So half of the All-Stars cast, no, 3/4 of the All-Stars cast.
Mm-hmm.
Not to name out people, but you know who you are. Actually, no, you don't know who you are. You're that delusional. Oh god, All-Stars was such a bad season.
Yeah.
So this is definitely an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Still flawed, but improved. But George believes that the only person he can potentially beat at the end is Haley. To which all the fans are probably thinking, that is the one person who you will lose to.
I think it'll be a tight race if those two are together, because
Yeah.
I think they equal. If those two are the final two, that would be really hard, because they both have equal equal but different moves, and they made it in a way that's going to be a tight race. But I also feel like George beats Cara.
Obviously.
But
Everyone beats Cara. Cara beats Cara.
If you're going
Laura
off what
beats Cara.
if you're going off what the people said in Ponderosa, that Way has a chance to win, then he may beat George, but I doubt it. But and then
It depends
loses to
on
Flick.
probably Way's wording and Final Tribal Council. I think if
Yeah, and George has up on Haley, because Haley has technically been voted out, and George never has.
so has Flick, and so has
exactly.
Cara.
Yeah, and so it's like that's what George has over it. He has not been voted out yet. So
Yeah, the only other person that hadn't been voted out at the time was Way,
yeah,
until around 20 minutes later. Yeah, a winner who got voted out, never heard of such a thing.
yeah, exactly.
Oh god, that was a horrible season. It's the second worst season of all of Survivor, and people for some reason get mad whenever I say I hate the season. They're like, "Oh no, the twist was bad, but that's it. The characters were great." No, the characters were shit too. All bar 4.
Yeah.
Excluding the returnees.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're automatically going to be good because they're returnees.
Mm-hmm.
Usually. Okay, can beat Haley. Believing that they are the two least likely to win. They're the two most likely to win.
Mm-hmm.
As everyone keeps, nobody keeps saying Haley is going to win for some reason.
Everyone except for Haley thinks Haley's going to win.
Yeah.
Or Haley's not going to win.
We'll see. That's tomorrow's episode.
Yeah.
Immunity challenge.
Woohoo!
Crawl on a pole, throw bags, throw hooks, solve puzzle. Decent challenge. I hated that first part because I would have been Way in that situation.
Yeah, that was kind
She
of
would
hard.
have made it further than I would have ever. I wouldn't even gotten my legs up there because I have no strength.
Mm.
But Way struggles, and George runs to help her.
Aww. I thought that was so cute.
He does have a heart. He's
He
not
does.
some
Barely,
cold.
but it's there.
There's something down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that scene in Wizards of Waverly Place where somebody's like saying to Alex, "I know there's still good in you." No, there isn't. Wait. Darn it, there's still some in there.
They're so strong.
What? Of course George can help Way. What is he going to do? Vote her off after that?
Yeah.
Cara's in the lead for most of this.
I was rooting for Cara. I was like, yes.
We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. It was rooting for us. Haley not far behind, but Haley wins the immunity. However, I'm pretty sure if anyone's on Twitter,
yeah, we were commenting on this, that she did not win.
She did not solve the puzzle.
No.
I think Matt from season 1 of the 2016 season, I think he put it in Photoshop and noticed that there were 3 little mistakes.
Yeah, it was not correct.
And that Haley did not win the immunity.
No. Mm-mm.
Production riggery or happy accident?
I would hope to say happy accident. I'm hoping.
Yeah. Haley also commented and be like, "Oh, well, thank God they didn't notice at that point."
Yeah. Yeah, she did not win. Sorry.
Yeah, because I remember looking at the puzzle even closer. One of the corners, like, is that aligned or is that just like, is there dirt on one of the puzzle pieces?
Yeah. There was like 3 or 4 pieces that were not correct.
Yeah.
Sorry, Haley, you didn't win. Love you.
You didn't win that immunity, but you get the safety anyways because we need to get this show rolling. It's been It's been how many days? 40 something. Has this ever happened before where it's like somebody won the immunity but kind of didn't?
I don't know.
The closest thing I can think of is Ghost Island when Laurel wins the immunity and it looks like Wendell finishes first, but then Laurel finished right after him, and then she's just the first to put up her hands.
Yeah, that's the closest thing.
You're very quiet. Is your mic plugged in?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just extremely quiet.
Oh, I'll talk louder.
So George is confident Flick is going to go home, but Flick is confident she's not. Actually, Flick knows she's not going to go home because she has the idol. And of course, her number one target is George. Same story as the last 4 episodes.
I don't know why. I don't get it. Well, obviously, since Haley has immunity.
Yeah, like she can't go after Cara or Wei because why would you?
Right.
Target George. We hear more of Flick's game and how she has strong social ties. And that's how she's going to win the game, with her social game. Does social game kind of get undercut a little with the whole strategy talk? Like, everyone believes, like, oh, you have to blindside people to win moves. What, you're friends with everyone and you can vote people off and still have them like you? That's not good gameplay. That's just bitter jury.
Yeah, it's hard because I don't want her story to be I'm here because of my mom. And I feel like that's gonna be it. And I feel like people are gonna feel sorry for her, and if that comes off as like mean, sorry. It's just like they're playing it up, especially in the next episode, that they played it in this episode and again in the next episode. And the things that she's done to get here have been
kind of lucky.
Luck, yeah. It's been like when you get the idol from Kez that shouldn't have been allowed. When you picked the right urn that were like you just happened to pick a lucky urn because you were voted out, and then you got an idol that you played incorrectly. Like that is
twice.
Twice. It's just
actually no, she technically played this one correctly. Because she still got 2 votes.
Oh yeah, true. I guess
yeah.
But it's the first one played incorrectly, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah, it's like she hasn't made any moves strategy wise, but socially wise, everybody loves her.
Yeah. And I think that's what's going to take her to the end. But I hope to God she doesn't play the mom card.
Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah. Because as much it is sad to hear like the story.
Oh, very sad. And as a human, I feel for her, and I just don't want that to be her survivor story.
Yeah.
I want her.
You don't want people saying to you, "Oh, you only won because of a tragic death in your family." Like,
right.
You don't want to have the Adam Klein treatment.
Yeah, I don't want that to be her story.
Yeah. So if she does somehow get to final tribal council, I hope she just plays up more the social aspect, not the family trauma. This isn't Drag Race. You don't win because of family trauma. Yeah. Here, fix on social game. She goes around pretending to look for an idol and look busy so people don't suspect it. And then George, unprompted by the producers, obviously, figures out that she has an idol and that she is safe no matter what.
And see, I don't know if it was rigged that way or if I was Flick, I would never be sitting down ever. Like, you don't want anyone to see you sit, because if they see you sit, then that means that they know you've got something. Because why would you be sitting?
I think I'm just naive if I think I see somebody sitting there. Like, she's probably thinking about what she's going to do, probably think of home. She's probably thinking of a sandwich.
Yeah, no. If I see you sitting and I know that you're supposed to be going home, then I know you're protected and safe somehow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So George knows Haley has an idol, but Flick doesn't know that George knows, but she's still going to vote for George. However, George goes to, what is her nickname? The Duchess of Double Bay?
I love it.
So we have King George, Queen Haley, Duchess Cara, and Squire Way.
Yes.
The
I
last one
know.
isn't real, it's just something I made up, but it fits her perfectly.
Oh, this
And
next part is what gets me fired up.
in a good way or a bad way?
I think it's because when George comes to Cara, I am the Cara in this situation, but I know better than to be naive about it, I guess, because I'm the loyal player. Like I want to be George, but I know I could never be George. And so it's like, if I've trusted you this long, why are you telling me a lie now?
Yeah.
Like if
We all
yeah,
believe that we're the George when really we're a Cara.
no, yeah, I know it's like I know I'm a Cara, but it's like I know I'm gonna be smart. Like you can't take anything's chances, especially since this is the last time you can play
Yes.
idols. I don't care if it's they have it or not. I'm gonna try. So yeah,
So in
that
case anyone's wondering what we're talking about, George goes to Cara and is like, I think Flick has an idol. I think we should vote for Way just in case. And Cara's like, no, Flick doesn't have an idol. Let's just vote for her.
yeah, no,
But George is like, he needs Cara's vote.
yeah,
It can't just be his vote because if it's a tie between him and Way, people are obviously going to say Way over him.
right.
And Cara goes on about being like, I don't believe Flick has an idol. My empathic powers are telling me that she does not have one. Oh, God.
Cara. She's like, just make it simple. It's like, is it that because like way
To
is
give
easier
us
to spell than Flick?
suspense,
It's 3 letters.
it's easier than Flick.
Yeah, it's easier to write than Flick.
She's too used to. Wait, it's not Laura?
Yeah, no, it's not.
She's still thinking about writing down Laura's name.
I just can't.
Even now that she's on the jury, she's going to write down Laura's name.
It's so easy, Cara. It's just
Just WAI.
I can't.
Do it the way.
Yeah, do it the way.
Yeah.
I can't with Cara. I can't.
Oh, this is gonna be fun when we rank her compared to all the other fourth placers.
Oh,
Fourth placers.
I love it.
So, Flake, obviously knowing that she's safe, she needs to have backup plans. So she tries to flip Haley and Way into voting George. And of course, we hear Haley being like, maybe I should flip. And if only she did, her ally would have been saved.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Way feels indebted to George again for helping her in the immunity challenge.
Yeah.
So, I think we all had this feeling like there's no way Cara is going to fuck up another vote.
Yeah. I was like, come on, Cara, please. Have fun. Just try.
So, Tribal happens. One thing I do love about Tribal is they always make this big reaction whenever the jurors walk in and
Yes.
like cool out in like pretty outfits, and they're like, "I look hot and you don't."
Mm-hmm.
It's something they seem to never do in the US one. They just like stare at them walk in and maybe react at one person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But other than that, the jury's just like barely there.
Mm-hmm.
And all the votes happen. Flick plays our idol. People are like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. I wish they would have panned to Cara's face because it would have been funny.
Yeah, I think they didn't want to because maybe they would have given it away. Like, "Oh, she did vote for Way."
Yeah. If I was George, I'd be like, see, I told you.
Yeah, I think if they read out 3 Flick votes, then we would have known. But the fact that they only read out 2 and then read out
George.
Flick's vote for George.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, oh, Way's going home. No,
Yep.
just not. I think I've noticed a trend with Australian Survivor. When somebody that doesn't get screen time most of the time, they all of a sudden get screen time the week before they go home.
Mm-hmm.
Because it happened to Andrew, it happened to Way.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it happened to Danny, but
yeah.
So,
but I love how Way took her elimination. I love it.
She almost looked relieved to be going home.
And it's if I was her, I would love to be, not that I'd love to be blindsided, but I think it'd be way cooler to be blindsided at the final 5 than in a move like that. In a move like that, then yeah, like the first or second tribal. That would be cooler than being blindsided.
Yeah, I think obviously blindsided way is a better way to go home, because
Yeah.
if you feel like you have no hope
Yeah.
and it's just like no matter what you do, you're going home. Very Big Brother way of going home.
Yeah.
Terrible show.
Sorry, Susan.
Sorry, Susan, but it's a horrible show.
Yeah, I would love to. Being blindsided like that in a big room would be a good way to go.
Yeah, so Wei goes home. What are your thoughts on Wei throughout the season?
I liked her towards the end, and she was very not very, what's the word, like shown in the beginning, and so I wasn't sure what to think, but I started, and I like how she's from America, so that's cool. She made it pretty farther
Yeah,
than I thought, but
she won't be the David of the season, an American winning Australian Survivor. Now we need an Australian winning American Survivor. I mean, we have Canadian contestants now.
Yeah. I liked Wei. I liked her overall.
Wei, she's one of my favorites. I recently did a tier list ranking. She was one of my top 3 along with Haley and Shannon.
R.I.P. Shannon.
Yeah. Oh, you should have made it so much further, but you just made way too many mistakes. So many mistakes.
She tried. A for effort.
Yeah. So I was sad to see Wei go. I was like, no. But I knew she wasn't going to win because of her edits.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy with her journey. Like, yeah, she was saved in the very beginning, but she won individual immunity last week. She won individual immunity back when it was double tribal.
Yeah, she did very good.
Yeah, she thrived. And I think she has the second least amount of votes received throughout the season with only 3.
That's pretty good.
Oh, no, third amount. Chelsea only got 2.
R.I.P. Chelsea.
Yeah. And Baden only has 1, but that 1 vote is the 1 vote that sends him home. Oh, God, that was a horrible twist. So, Wei is gone. We're sad. The Squire of insert wherever Wei is from, the Squire of Sydney is gone. I think she's from Sydney. It said so on Wikipedia. And Wikipedia never lies.
No, never.
So we get to episode 23, the last episode. We're already almost done. Ooh. And we see Cara and George and their relationship and talking about how they're probably like the best power duo that we've ever seen in Australia. Have we seen a duo like Cara and George? Like just that powerful, if that's the right word to describe.
Luke and Jericho. Luke and David the second time around.
And both of those people, and both of those
and Fenella.
Can't forget my favorite duo.
Shawnee and Fenella didn't make it very far, but love them.
No, they did.
I mean, did they make it this far as them though?
Yeah, because Fenella got voted off in 6th place. And Shawnee was 4th.
But they didn't make it the final 4 together.
No, sadly.
Yeah. Love them though.
Yeah, they're the only duo to make it to final 4. Can you think of any American ones that can contrast?
Just Amber and Rob on All Stars, but they're like together, so.
George and Cara, the new Amber and Rob.
Some of the best American duos.
Dawn and Wendell, maybe.
Russell Hands.
Yeah.
And
Russell Hands didn't have any duos.
Just with Parvati, but not.
He always picks one girl to be his duo.
Yeah, him and Natalie White, but yeah, not that. Not that
JT and Steven?
Yes. How could we forget that?
Well, I didn't watch the season, so.
How did I forget that?
Parvati and Amanda?
Yep. And the Black Widow Brigade.
Yeah.
That was a whole.
Sandra and Courtney? That's more of a comedic duo rather than power duo.
Yeah.
So, Cara and George, are they the best Australian Survivor duo? They made Final 4.
Yeah.
You could say Luke and his duos, but because each of those duos won a season.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho won, David won,
Yeah.
Luke did not win.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah, I mean, he's on Australian Celebrity Big Brother, which nobody's happy about, apparently.
Yeah, Luke is a good player. Luke is a really good player.
And they invent a new challenge, Survive the Hammock Challenge. Hammocks are difficult.
Very difficult.
I've never been in one.
They're difficult.
But
they make me nauseous. Very nauseous.
Yes. Sitting in the back of a car makes me nauseous. Especially if it's a long journey with hills, which there's a lot of here. Flick survives, still the only Brawn, but she's still on the bottom.
Minority of one.
Yes, I am minority of one in a tribe of 4.
Mm-hmm.
With the other 3 are out to get me. So she pretty much needs immunity or she goes home. So maybe our social game isn't as good as she thinks it is.
Yeah.
Because if it was good, you wouldn't need immunity to win.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
We hear more about her. We get slow motion shots.
I love the edit, how they did everyone in the edit. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, I meant to mention last episode how everyone got like, here's my game story, except for Cara.
Cara. Yeah, I noticed that too.
So it's like she's not winning.
Yeah.
Just in case it wasn't already clear that she's not winning, we're just doubling down the fact she's not winning.
Making sure that people know.
Yeah. Making sure you all know. Needs here slow motion. Again, she tries to get out George, and she's still trying to flip Haley. If it didn't work the first 5 times you tried this, maybe try a different strategy.
Yeah. Or try somebody else.
Yeah, maybe try and flip George to vote out Haley.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which you figure out, but way too late.
Mm-hmm.
Haley still wants Flick gone because she's guaranteed votes to win. Still wants Flick gone, but she always wants to have backup. She always wants to have options. Very Kim Spradlin. Always have to have options.
Right.
Once neither believe Cara would vote for George because it's very much a tie situation if it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And George's only plan is to make sure Flick does not win.
It's a good plan.
Very, very simple. Flick just can't win.
Nope.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Anyone but her.
Yeah, anybody but her. Haley could win again for all I care. Cara could get one. Hey, I could get a win if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to. Because he knows that there's a high chance Haley could flip and make it a tie between George and, let's say, Haley. Because George and Cara would never vote for each other.
Nope.
Foreshadowing. And George is not good at making fire.
Nope.
But Cara, she studies the show. She knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
So she tells him a quick way to make fire, which she does not really do that well.
His confessional is so funny.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to make fire from a lady who doesn't even know how to make
fire. It's the blind leading the blind.
That was so funny confessional.
Oh, I forgot. Quick mention before we continue. Back on to last episode with Wei. She joins the 221 group.
Love a 221 group.
Yes, only happened once in American Survivor. With Angie from Palau. Rest in peace. The infamous South African 221 with You Betrayed the Amigos. Sam from the first Sam from Australian. Oh, I wrote that wrong. It's supposed to be Australian one, the 2016 one. And then a bunch of ones that you have no idea about. And that How Long one is a funny one. Anyway, back to this episode. I swear I'll remember it next time. Immunity challenge. Climb a net, get and throw a ball, build stairs.
This one was hard.
Yeah, this one was long. Get water over hurdles, fill a large bucket, roll balls.
That one looked intensely hard.
I would have just gone to the water part and then just sit in the bucket of water and just cool
I'm
off.
just gonna sit here.
Yeah, I'll just sit here. It's nice and cold.
Mm-hmm.
Haley's in the lead. She's almost there, but she fucks it up at the end. And George's worst nightmare comes through. True. Flick wins immunity. Yay! It only took her till Final Four. She finally won her first immunity. I guess Haley just wanted to share the immunity love, being the only person to win. And now another OG brain has to go.
Aww.
And shocker, Haley is not Haley. Flick is not targeting George.
Woo!
She targets Haley. Yay! Because she believes Haley's the only person that has a chance to beat her in a final 3 endurance challenge. Because, I mean, she only just won every other endurance challenge, so I think Flick has a good reason.
Yep.
Quickly goes to George and Cara being like, we're voting Haley. Okay. And then she wanders off. But she's still pretending to Haley like, yeah, I'm trying to flip you to vote for George.
I don't know why.
I think it is the Final Four. Yeah, maybe so Haley doesn't get any ideas.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we won't want her to like try and flip George and Cara against each other. So obviously Haley goes to Cara to be like, should we flip on George? And then Cara tells Haley, oh, Flick told me that we're voting for you.
That was the best. It was that was so good. She's like, oh, she told me you. Oh, it's so good.
Why?
I thought it was
brilliant. Cara tell Haley?
Because there's nothing she can do about it. That's why. And it's, I mean, what do you got to lose at that point? I mean, maybe you go home, but then at least if you go home, you know that Flick's not really with you. Well, she never has been. But what do you got to lose? No, I know, but like, but if she didn't tell her that, would she still be going home? Probably. Like, I don't think Cara telling her that made her go home, in my opinion.
I think it did.
Oh, I don't.
Because then Haley wouldn't have tried to vote for Cara or George. She would have just wrote down George's. Actually, she would have still written down George's name, and she wouldn't have tried to flip the other two. They would have just simply voted for Haley.
Yeah, I don't think so. But because it's like, then I don't know. I just don't think that.
Okay. Comment below. If Cara never told Haley about Flick targeting her, would Cara be in the final 3? I wish we had a poll thing.
But I don't know.
So Haley tries to do the impossible and make George and Cara flip on each other. She goes to Cara being like, George is going to win this hands down, and if we make this move right now, the whole jury will respect us. While she goes to George and be like, if you vote for me and I go home, who's going to beat Flick at the end? Because Flick is going to take Cara and you're just going to go home third.
Right.
So, very rare that we see an immunity winning streak be a good thing in somebody's strategy. Because usually it's automatic target on your back.
Yeah.
Sorry, Emmett.
Love him. Yeah, that's good. I mean, good on Haley for using it to her advantage.
Did you believe that George or Cara would flip on each other, or would you just like, oh, this is just filler to make it look like it's not obvious it's Haley?
I don't think Cara would have. I knew George would, because that's just who George is, I guess. I don't know him personally, obviously, but just based on his track record, he will. I feel like it was emotionally hard for him, but he knew he needed to do it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think, but eventually in the end, well, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
So Haley tries to do the impossible. Oh yeah, we're at tribal, so Haley's basically pleading her case. Cara and George. The jury is like, Cara would never vote for George. If she's smart, she would vote for George. And the irony in that.
See, there was no point for her to vote for George.
Yeah. Because if she didn't vote for George, she would have not went home in a 2-1-1 vote.
Yep.
Both Haley was convinced that she didn't flip Cara, but she might flip George. In reality, she flipped both of them.
Yep.
And once again, Flick's strategy just went down the drain.
Yeah.
She couldn't even get a final four vote correct.
Yeah. See, it's like
And
it's almost like her vote didn't matter.
It kind of didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have mattered if one of the other two voted for Haley and made it a tie. But in the end, Cara goes home. What are our thoughts of Cara this season?
I actually liked Cara because
she was fun.
Oh, she was hilarious. And I almost wonder if she knew she was going home or if she truly didn't know.
I like to believe she didn't know.
Okay. I was hoping.
Like, I don't think, like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want Haley to go. I'll just vote for George and end up me going home.
Yeah.
Because you can't do that again.
Yeah. Poor Cara.
Oh, poor Cara. I finally figured out the reason why you were quiet. It wasn't your fault. It was just my earphones are bad.
It's okay.
Yeah. Cheap pennies earphones. They break very easily. So, we got so many moments with Cara. We got her idling herself out, her continuing her trend in voting Laura and continuing her mistake, her complete blindness to George saving her and then eventually getting rid of Laura, her constant votes for Laura, just anything that involves her and Laura.
I love it.
They're the true power duo. It's not
They
George
really
and Cara.
are.
It's Cara and Laura. Cara and Laura for a power duo season.
Yes.
And Cara goes home in, well, I like to think a rare vote when it comes to Final Four, a 2-1-1 vote. It has never happened in a US season. It has only happened in Australian Survivor, non-US season.
Nice.
We mentioned Shawnee earlier. That's how she went home.
Love it.
That's how Abby went home. Similar situation. She kind of voted herself off instead of creating a tie. We just saw it happen with Tyson in South Africa. And once again, a bunch of people, you have no idea who they are. MC people, you know what this is. And College Survivor, you know, the one. So, usually this is where we recap the third episode, but that doesn't exist until tomorrow.
We don't have a third episode.
Nope. Tomorrow we have the finale. And I don't know how they got John Kramer to design the immunity challenge.
It looks intense.
Yes, it came directly out Saw. I'm waiting for a reverse bear trap to come into play. Maybe they're going to be in a nerve gas house. You can tell I've recently been I haven't been watching Saw. I've just been watching Saw related videos. I'm going through a weird phase where I'm watching horror films. By that I mean just Saw and Final Destination, which, by the way, I've seen 2 and 3. I've always been scared of driving, even more now. I refuse to look at Nora's death because decapitation by elevator is scary, and I also refuse to look at the tanning bed death because I don't like seeing girls burned alive, let alone with their tits out.
Yeah.
That's actually what made it more uncomfortable. It wasn't their flesh burning, it was just the fact that they were topless. All the other ones were fine. I didn't mind. I also understand why everybody loves the character Erin, played by Alex Johnson. I want to say her actress name. So we get to the I want to say your favorite part of the recap, where we rank the placements. So we'd like to start off with Wei in 5th place. Number 1, we have Lockie in his first season, 2017. We have Abby in her first season in Champ vs. Contenders 2. We have Matt the Magician, who pointed out how Haley shouldn't have won the immunity challenge from 2016. We have Tarzan in All Stars, and we have nobody who remembers Monica in Champions vs. Contenders 1. So where do we rank Wei in these three?
For fifth place for Abby, what was her vote count?
She was also 2-1-1. This is the tribal where Luke found send somebody away from tribal without power situation, and he sent
Gotcha,
David
because I'm
over.
like 2 plus 1 is 4.
Yes, this was when.
Okay.
So Lockie's vote count was 3-2, with the other vote being on, I want to say, Michelle. Matt's vote was 3-1-1. There was a vote for Flick and Elle. Tarzan was also 3-1-1 with a vote for Sharn and a cancel vote for David. And Monica was also 3-2. Yes, I'm obsessed with the show. So Wei is the only one out of this group to be sent home via an idol play.
This is so hard.
I think for me, I would rank her in between. She's definitely above Monica, because nobody is going to be that bad. I would personally rank her over Tarzan as well, because Tarzan did nothing on All Stars. I understood why he came back, but he was definitely what I would say disappointing.
All right, we can put her above Tarzan.
Yeah. Now, is she better than Matt?
Matt's the magician, right?
Yes.
I say no.
Yeah, I mean, did Wayne notice Haley's mistake in the puzzle? I think not.
Yeah.
And I think that's safe. Yeah, because Wei was never one for strategy. She was always one that was a reliable person, but she never really tried. Matt always tried moves that just failed, how he constantly tried to get rid of Elle. But Wei, she never tried a big move. If that's yeah, I think that would be good. So congratulations, Wei. You are better than Tarzan and Monica. So next we get to Cara in 4th place. Number 1, we have Luke in Champions vs. Contenders 2. Number 2, we have Brooke in All Stars. Michelle in 2017. Shani in Champions vs. Contenders 1. And 2016 Flick.
This is the best group of 4th place people ever.
Yes. Thank God Flick did win immunity, because I did not want to have 2 Flicks in the same category. So, where do we rank Cara? Now, as much as we do love Cara, none of these 5 ever got themselves idled out.
Yeah.
None of these people got confused with a vote.
Oh, I vote her last in this category. If she was in any other category, maybe higher, but with this group of heavy hitters.
Yeah, you can't rank her above, not even Flick in Felippity, as people love to call her in that season. No. So, Cara, we love you, but
now,
my God.
had it been George, he probably would have been number 1.
He probably would have been number 1 for sure. Had it been Haley, she also probably would have been number 1.
Yeah.
But Cara, oh, girl.
I think had she been with anybody else in the category, she would have been higher, but because the people she's with, that just below.
Yeah, they're very, I mean, look at them. You have Luke, who could have won had he just won that last immunity. Brooke, who could have won if she just won that last immunity. Michelle, who could have won if she won fire making. Shani, who everybody loves. And Flick and Flippity. He's just flipping on everyone. Who made that move at Final 7, voting off her best friend. Cara just voted off herself. So, only 3 episodes left. Not 3 episodes, only 3 people left. Flick, George, and Haley. So, I think a lot of people were saying, is Haley guaranteed Final Tribal Council?
I think it's George, to be honest.
You think George is guaranteed? Yeah. So you believe Flick would vote off Haley over George if she wins?
Yes. Because they're such strong competitors that they almost, I feel like she would have a better chance of beating George in the end because he didn't win any immunities.
But does Flick know that?
Probably, I would hope so. And I feel like
she was trying to. Haley is for sure taking George. I think George is for sure taking Haley. I
Yeah.
personally think Flick will take Haley just because she did not go on a rampage for 6 tribals in a row to try and vote off George, only to at the last minute vote off Haley.
But George isn't going to vote for Haley or for Flick in the end to win. So why would you do that?
But would Haley vote for Flick in the end to win?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, you don't know.
Let's actually.
George will make sure that Flick knows that the best option is to take him.
Yeah, take me or else.
Yeah. I mean, but
so let's actually look at the final 3 and look at our. How many jurors is there? 8? 8.
How many? Yeah.
And look at our 8 jurors. We'll go in vote off order.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, you have this.
So now there's 6 Brains members and only 3 Brawn.
And there's going. Oh yeah, unless Flick gets voted off, and then it'd be
6-4.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, there's only 8 jury members.
1, 2,
Baden, Gerald, Laura, Emmett, Andrew, Danny, Way, Cara. Yeah, there's only 8.
Okay, so there's Cara, Way, Andrew, Laura, and Baden is 5. So it's
Gerald, 5. Emmett, yeah, and then mostly, yes, there's 5 Brains and 3 Brawn.
Yeah.
So let's go through each of them. Who is Baden most likely vote for out of the 3? Let's say the jury member, then put their ranking. Like we think, oh, George, then Haley, then Flick, something like that. That's what I think his vote would be. I think he'd vote for George number 1, Flick number 2, Haley number 2, and Flick last.
Yeah.
Gerald. What's his voting order?
Probably Flick, Haley, and then George.
Yeah. Laura. A lot of people think Laura's going to vote for George.
It's possible. Probably George, Haley, then Flick.
I would think Haley, Flick, then George, because George kept constantly targeting her.
True.
Emmett.
I
think Emmett would vote for Haley over Flick. I think he's 100% not voting for George.
Well, you never know.
Yeah. What about you? What do you think Emmett would do?
Well, it's probably going to be Haley, Flick, George. And with Andrew, it's probably going to be the same thing.
I think Flick, Haley, George.
That's
for
what
Andrew.
Well, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because he's a fake brain. He's all Brawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Danny, I think, to be honest. Flick, George, Haley. Because Haley's actually the one that turned on Danny, not George. So George never.
Danny says that she respects Haley's game. She's never said that about George's game.
I don't know why.
Haley
has never voted with you. You've tried so many times, but it's like she's the one who actually
want to go through. I want to go through all the votes because Haley. You're right. Haley has never voted with.
Yeah, never.
Danny. The only time they voted together was the Cara vote, but that's when George lit the idol and voted for Laura, so it literally did not matter.
Yeah, so Haley is the reason you're sitting on that jury.
Yeah.
Not George. So.
It's Haley.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she respects it. It's Haley that took her out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Way.
Haley, George, and Flick.
You don't believe she feels indebted to George to vote him to win?
Probably.
And I would say Cara, but we know Cara's Laura, George.
And if George isn't there, Laura.
Oh, I just so want her to vote. She has received 23 or 28 votes throughout the season.
Who, Cara?
Yes.
That's impressive.
Well done, Cara. Looking at the final 3 in their vote count, Flick has received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 votes, with 2 of those votes being cancelled. George has received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 votes with 4 of those being cancelled. No, with
Nice.
5 of those being cancelled.
Nice.
And Haley has received 1, 2, plus the 9 that voted her off, 11.
That's crazy.
So it's kind of like what we're saying is Haley and Flick are the most likely, and then George not really, depending on what he says. But he's the only one that has not been voted off.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's got more moves than Flick. That's for sure. And he will let people know it.
Yes. It's like, are you actually going to vote for somebody who was voted out of the game? Who in their right mind would do that?
You can say that about Haley too.
Yeah. He could have said that about half of the final 6.
But then that's what the people who like Flick and Haley, they're gonna say, "Oh,
Like,
I was voted out and I came back." That's their story.
Yeah. Well, with Haley, it's more impressive. With Flick's, like, you had an idol and you just won immunity.
Yeah.
She had the Chris Underwood take. Because that's how he got to the end. Oh, God, that season was so bad. Like, it's a horrible season. I don't get why people enjoy it.
I don't know.
Okay. So, that was Australian Survivor Brain versus Brawn. What were your thoughts?
I'm glad to see the 3 in the final 3. I wish. No, that's the 3 I wanted. Except I hope Haley doesn't make or Flick doesn't make it to make it interesting.
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting no matter what. So
yes, because I think even if Flick does make it, I think it still will be a close race. But I think for us, it's obvious because I don't think they'd award a winner somebody who had like no screen time in like the first half of the like around this Tri-Stop era.
I just hope that if Flick does make it, she just talks about
her game. Yeah.
Because I don't want, as much as it pains, I don't want to like be excited for a winner that used a backstory. Like Jeremy, for example, he knew he had everything at home going on, but he did not use that.
Yeah, he kept that secret for a reason.
Yeah, and
I think he mentioned
yes, hers is out in the open, but it's like that's not.
Well, yeah, she couldn't. That was there wasn't something she could have done about that.
Right.
Like she can't really hide the fact. Yeah, my mother died.
Yeah, bless her.
Yeah, bless her. I think Jeremy is definitely a good example of winning without using out of game reasons. I was going to say sob story, but that sounds too mean. Yeah. And Adam is I don't want to say a poor example, but there's a reason why Jeremy doesn't get called out for that reasoning. But anyway, positivity.
It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be a fight to the end. And I can't wait to see this challenge. It's going to be epic.
I would be surprised if all 3 of them live through this, because as we know with saw traps, it's very rare for somebody to live through them.
Yeah.
Unless, no, I was going to try and name somebody who survived, but I can't really remember any.
Oh, it's going to be good. For sure.
Yeah. I think for me, it is obvious that George and Haley are going to be the final 2. So that makes me excited. We're going to try and be back tomorrow, day of premiere, because somebody has a busy weekend, and it's not the person who never does it, who is always 15 minutes early for this stuff. Because I have no life.
It's going to be me.
Yeah. She actually has like a life and something outside of this. As for me, I have fully obsessed with this, and I wish I could make this in a career, and I wish Dustin, why can't I get paid for this?
Yeah,
Dustin. Do you see the effort I put into this? I have notes. I have slides.
Love the slides.
Thanks. It's a way to make it more interesting. I wish I started doing it in the beginning because I don't know, just wish I thought of it sooner.
That's okay.
Yeah. So who out of the final 3 do you want to win?
I would say probably George, Haley, Flick. But I would be happy with either George or Haley. It doesn't matter to me.
I think I'm obviously Team Haley.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think this is a case where like you're happy with any of them winning, but you just have your favorites.
I feel like that these 2.5. I feel like Flick played more after Emmett left. I feel like she started to play a little bit more after Emmett left.
But
Haley and George have been playing since the beginning.
Yeah, so we have George's friendship bracelets, and Haley's middle ground.
Yeah.
So that's
I
going
guess
to be an
we'll see.
exciting final tribal council. It's definitely going to be an improvement over the last 2 seasons, which it was quite obvious who was winning.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I'm still a little surprised that Sharon got. I'm both not surprised and surprised Sharon got a vote in All Stars.
Mm.
Because, oh, talk about a downhill spiral for Sharon. From losing by 1 vote to only getting 1 vote. There's the vote that she needed her last season.
Mm.
And I actually personally cannot wait to rank the winners when we eventually get to that in my little ranking video.
Yeah. That's going to be good.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for watching. If you want more live reality game shows podcast content, subscribe to the channel, join the Facebook group, follow all the socials, join the Survivor Reddit Discord where we talk all things Australian Survivor, the new upcoming Survivor 41, which is 2 weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
All things live reality games, college survivors, orgs, the shit show that is Big Brother. I personally wouldn't join that because there's nothing interesting in it. We're only going to have Big Brother history happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, all that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, to crown an Australian Survivor winner. Who I will try. No, I was going to say who will join us, but like I don't have that power. I'm not Rob Has a Podcast where I can simply call on Survivor legends to join.
Love it.
So, see y'all tomorrow around further than usual.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.